Dạ, con kính thưa thầy, quý sư cô đại chúng. Dạ thưa thầy, sáng á, thầy giảng cái lăng nghiêm tâm thông á thầy. Khi thầy nói tới cái giác sở giác không á, thì trong đầu con nó hiện lên cái thắc mắc là cái biết đó thầy, cái sở biết lúc đó mình không biết nữa thì làm sao mà mình tiến lên mình hỏi tiếp tục câu thoại đầu thầy. Bây giờ mình còn biết nữa mà còn hỏi câu thoại đầu, nó con thấy nó còn rớt lên rớt xuống. Lúc đó cái biết mình không biết nữa là làm lấy cái gì để mình hỏi tiếp tục để mình thăm thầy.
Cái chỗ đó đó là nó đã khởi được cái quán chiếu bát nhã, nó tự động, cho nên mình phải mình tác ý mình hỏi, không còn tác ý hỏi tới chỗ khi mà đến phá được cái năng sở rồi như thị tiệm tăng tự động nó từ đó.
Dear Thầy, dear all teachers and Sangha, in the morning you taught us about the Shurangama mind. And I have a question. The object of the knowing, when we don't know the object of the knowing, then how can we continue to ask the question? Because right now we are still in the knowing, but we still lose our question here and there, versus at that point where we don't even know anymore, how can we maintain the question? Thầy said when you reach that stage, you don't have to do it intentionally. At that stage, it become automatic, and it is the state of non-regressional, meaning you will non-returning. You will keep going but not returning. So you will see the non-abiding place, and you keep moving forward. Like the arhatship, even when they attain the fruit of arhatship, they still have the realm of quiescence. They still have a place of abiding, and they have to keep moving forward. So in Vinyak Sutra, the Buddha taught us about the 4 forms of the common people versus the saint. The 4 forms of common people are very coarse, versus the 4 forms of the saints are subtle. So for them, even though they end the segmental cycle of birth and death, but they still have the transformational cycle of birth and death. If we attach to the fruit of achievement, we will get stuck there, and we will not be able to reach the unsurpassed enlightenment. Even when it comes to the time where the Buddha is alive, they might still not able to reach Buddhahood, because the saints have their own attachment. In the sutra, it also talk about different levels. We have to base on the practice on the levels that the patriarch and the Buddha explained. We only repeat the teaching of the Buddha and the patriarch to help share to one another. We cannot put our own idea when we teach other people. The Buddha said the 4 forms of the saint is the notion of ego, the notion of others, the notion of sentient being, and the notion of lifespan. When we are able to completely move away from the 4 notions, we will reach the complete enlightenment. But if we are still within one of those forms or one of those mental state, we are still stuck. But right now, we are not able to understand that level of the saint yet because we are still stuck in the coarse form of subject and object of a common people. How can we grasp how it is for a saint? Lots of people mistake. They are still at the coarse form, but they and still regressional, but they thought that they already near enlightenment, and they abide to those attachment and created mistakes. They are stuck, not liberated. Some people talked using their own ideas, their own knowledge, and they just say, oh, we just need to realize it. Then to be able to discern it, then we arrive already. For the patriarch, it's very easy. How come we make it so difficult for ourselves? So to them, they think as long as they know illusion, that is done. They already reach enlightenment, but that is not true. They are still in attachment to everything as real, and not able to control their own birth and death. They still be controlled by sound forms and get dragged by those forms and sounds. So it's not easy, like they said. We have to be very cautious. Don't get tricked by the consciousness, duality, and attachment. We have to always return to our practice. Ask the question, raise the doubt. Right now, we still not move away from the object of investigating the question. So we have to maintain it uninterruptedly. You can see that even maintain the question uninterruptedly is already difficult because we keep distracted by external conditions. We are still controlled by attachment and ignorance, and external conditions still feel sad, suffering. We're not liberated yet. We still have all kinds of sickness. We are not healthy yet. So realize that we are sick. We have to take the medicine. Don't get fooled by the form of sickness. Don't think that you're already healthy, and brag about it. Always return to the fundamental of the practice and maintain it uninterruptedly. But you have to have the right view to realize what are the right principles. Some people force themselves to keep the question uninterruptedly without gap, but without knowing that they actually fall into the object of seeking of the consciousness, and they turn hard rock. That is a kind of sickness that they didn't realize. And then when they hear other people encourage them that they're doing well, they even attach on that. They still very always think about a lot of things, external conditions, and instead of remembering their practice. So we have to always reflect on our practice and has a wisdom eye, a right view to reflect on our practice, so that we can be sincere on the practice until we reach liberation. if we can do that, we won't be fear of anything. We won't have any object of fearing, and we'll keep maintain the practice. Or even any success in life, any fame, any gain in life, it won't matter much anymore, because the thought, if the thought of birth and death is top priority, then nothing can be an obstacle anymore. The practice will become solid and uninterrupted at that time. Do you understand? Yes, I do. Can I ask more questions? The patriarch said for the 4 difficult things and the 4 easy things. The 4 difficult things is we have to overcome the 4 forms of the common people and the 4 forms of the saints. When do we reach the 4 easy things? I forgot. Difficult versus easy are still the skillful means of the patriots. We should not list them into, like try to mold them into different category. In reality, they give our medicine depending on the sickness. Because of our attaching mind, they give us the medicine. Like the Buddha always said in the sutra, the knowing is the door to disaster. But when we reach enlightenment, then that knowing will actually become a miracle, a door miracle. So the knowledge is, when we are still in the deluded, the knowledge is a disaster. But when we reach enlightenment, knowledge will be miracle. So those are skillful means of the Buddha to help sentient beings to realize their self-nature. We are still in duality and clinging on to things as real. That's why the Buddha reluctantly talk about those to help us strengthen our belief in the mind and then to walk on the right path of liberation. Just like to enter the stream versus to exit the stream are also duality. When the object of entering ends, the subject will also end. At that point, they will keep going up and not returning down. Those are still skillful means of the Buddha. Lots of people prefer the 4 easy things. They think, I don't need to cultivate. If I'm hungry, if I'm sleepy, I will just eat and sleep. Or I can just do self-offering and do not have to cultivate. But those are seeing things, attached to things as real, and put your own idea and chase after the written words. That's why the Buddha, after he teach everything, he negates everything that he taught, saying 49 years I didn't say a word. So the true meaning of the Buddha doesn't really lie in the saying. This method of meditation is not run on the saying words, but it go direct into the mind of the people for them to see the self-nature, the liberating nature. The patriarchs stress further emphasizes further, these are still words, sayings, and we still misunderstand the true intention of the Buddha. So don't attach to those, don't attach to principle, don't attach to skillful means, don't attach to a certain Dharma, or consider yourself as the top. Those are, establishing a Dharma. So establishing is the source of ignorance and birth and death. So when the Buddha said the knowledge is disastrous, or knowledge is miracle, or when he said knowledge is sickness, or knowledge is self-nature, all of those are skillful means. And the skillful means is for us to realize, to recognize, not to try to understand and discern. We have to strip away the thinking, the knowing. We need the enlightenment, not the knowing. Our practice starts from Tao to reach enlightenment. This Tao is the proper Tao that leads to the true Tao, not from suspicion. But lots of us misunderstand because we are stuck in suspicion. And suspicion is a sickness. If you cling on to ignorance, you won't be able to liberate. You have to move away from ignorance and attachment and end all of those duality, subject-object. That is to follow the principle of the Buddha. She said she understands. Thank you, thầy. And Tỷ has a question. Namo Buddha, dear Thầy and Sangha. You just said when we practice, it's like a velocity that we cannot really put an intent to it. It's like it goes by its own force, whether it go up or down. It has its own rules. Like a practitioner, he want to reach enlightenment or not, it doesn't really depend on in his own control. It's more like, I feel like it's more because of the law of cause and effect. Instead of us knowing, wanting or not wanting, we cannot put our want or not want into leading where the practice go. Thầy said what the teaching of the patriarch are still skillful means. If we still go after differentiation, we will keep, like the patriarch said, the seed is the Tao, the fruit is enlightenment. Small Tao lead to small enlightenment. Great Tao lead to great enlightenment. Like the Buddha said, to rely on the skillful means of the prajna and raise the contemplation of the prajna, and then attain the prajna. So the doubt, we have to raise the contemplation of the prajna, don't get stuck into the skillful means of the prajna. The skillful means are just a support, a form, an outside it's still in duality, subject and object. And only the practice will help, even help us take advantage further of the skillful means. Like Master Hu Vân said, the Eng Question is still, it's just like a stick, it's a skillful means. The doubt is like walking. The patriarch said, like, I talk a while, but you still haven't walked yet. You still just hold on to the stick and stay at one place. Then you won't be able to utilize the stick. So we have to nurture the seed, meaning we have to walk. We have to raise the doubt. The doubt will lead us to the fruit of enlightenment. The doubt is contemplating a prajna. It's not within duality, ignorance, attachment anymore. Like the Buddha said, you have to enter the stream, not to exit the stream. But our karmic habit is to exit the stream, to turn outward. The eye follow the form, the ear follow the sound, and therefore we create discernments, subject, object, good, bad, right, wrong, etc. All of those are turning outward or exit the stream. Now we enter the stream, we rely on the skillful means, which is the words of the Buddha, to help remind us how to recognize the right path. That recognition is the wisdom eye, like the light to end the darkness. So when we are able to utilize the skillful means of prajna in the right way, we will be able to raise the contemplation of prajna, meaning we are able to walk. So even the Hua object of investigation is still a skillful means. So we have to, that's why we said we have to realize the self-nature, not run after the bone, chase after the bone. So once the object of entering, meaning the place of entering, ends, meaning like the subject and object of discernment or differentiation end, that is non-duality. And when we are able to raise that contemplation of prajna, we will be able to practice deeply into prajna, and then we will be able to end the 5 skandhas and liberate from all sufferings. So we have to go up to have a clear path and continue to go up, not going left, right. Our mind have to be straight. So the skillful means and the practice combined has to be combined. If we don't practice but just keep seek out the learning, you will get bored because we keep reminding the same thing, like the medicine we have at home. Those are just a similar same medicine. If we don't use them, then it's useless. We have to put them into use. So when we listen to the Dharma talk, we have to put it into practice, meaning to utilize the skillful means of the prajna to raise the contemplation of the prajna. The Eng Question is the stick to help us walk. We have to walk until where we don't feel the separation between the stick and the leg anymore. Then automatically the stick will always with us, and it disappear. And at that stage, the external and the internal become one. And when we reach that stage, we will be clear and will not have question anymore. So the path of enlightenment and liberation will always go up until we eventually control ourselves. But now we are still in the thickness of ignorance and attachment. And that's why enlightenment is not that easy. We have the victory over ourselves. That's why the victory over ourselves is the greatest victory. Don't let your consciousness control you. You understand? He said he does. Kim Yến is question. Nam Mô Sakyamuni Buddha, dear Thầy, dear all teachers and Sangha, dear Thầy. Could you please talk again about I recently bumped into a situation where I feel like there's a certain time where I ask the question very lightly, and not able to raise the doubt, and I feel like I fall into reciting the question instead, even though I try to ask the question clearly and slowly, but this situation keep happening. Is this because my mind of birth and death is not strong, or because I am controlled by my consciousness? Could you please talk more about this? Thầy said, when you practice, you're actually able to know and see everything because your tendency of discernment is very sharp, very smart. Or when other people share their experience, we also know as well. But that is still following the knowing, not move away from the knowing. Meaning we are still following ignorance and attachment, not end them. Master, like what I said, or when I sit down and ask the question, there's a bunch of illusory thoughts. When I don't ask the question, I don't see any illusory thoughts. I feel very quiet and calm. But when I ask the question, a bunch of illusory thoughts come up. Or when I ask the question, I don't feel like the doubt is there. I keep asking the question, but it seems like I'm just reciting the question. So what should I do? Do I need to end those illusions? No, it's not necessary. If illusions come up, don't pay attention to them. Or like, there's an example, like when the people carrying weapons to try to fight over us, but if we don't get into the fight with them, then they would end up leaving. But if we try to fight over all of those illusory thoughts, countless thoughts, we will get tired and exhausted. So you don't need to try to fight those illusions or suppress those illusions. That's their own business. Our business is to keep ask the question sincerely. Ask the question even though you don't feel like the doubt is there, you know. Or even it seems like we're just reciting. Just keep asking, but don't just reciting, okay? Just ask. So the state of illusions or no doubt is still both generated by our deluded mind. Like when we have illusions, we will not be able to feel the doubt because we keep looking outward, you know, but we just need to continue with the practice. The patriarch give our medicine step by step or help instruct us step by step, like they instruct a baby, you know, to help us move from one spot to the other. We cannot jump from one spot to the other. We have to take steps. So what should we continue to do? Continue to ask the question, seek out the learning. Don't assume that you already understand the intention of the patriarch. Lots of people assume that what they need to do is to keep asking uninterruptedly without gap so that the illusion doesn't come up. But that is actually a way of suppressing the thoughts. That is not the right way. Because they still attach to those thoughts. They fall into perception, not meditation. So to teach the practitioner is like to walk a baby. It has to be step by step, and we have to continue to help them on their way, not leaving them alone quite fast. So we have to always rely on the triple gems, the wise teachers, the practitioners to nurture our practice. If we fear of sleepiness or fear of affliction, don't ever put down the question, the heart question. Keep returning to ask the question, and doing that means you are entering back to the stream. Don't just follow your own idea, because doing that means you follow further into birth and death and ignorance. The method of Zen is to not adding anything further, but to actually take out a lot of things that we have. Like Bang Uẩn, when he entered Nirvana, his daughter and son compete to enter Nirvana before him, and he's fine with that. He thinks it's okay. His wife can take care of that after he entered Nirvana, and his advice is to take out everything that you have and don't add anything further, meaning don't try to grasp further. Or attached to anything further. Their intention is to help our practice to continue without stop until the destination. That's why the Buddha encouraged people to raise the Bodhi mind and to practice the Bodhisattva way, and always do it for others, not for ourselves, and to sweep all object of gaining. And to sweep all object of gaining means to put out, not take in anything further. And the ultimate enlightenment is to have nothing to gain. So to practice Zen is to practice that nothing to gain, and that nothing to gain is just a way to say a skillful means. The practice is more important. Our consciousness is very active. It always tries to hold on to a lot of things and try to know a lot of things, but that knowing is the knowing of sickness. If we want to liberate, we have to end such knowing so that the knowing of the prajna can manifest. So always rely on the skillful means of prajna and raise the contemplation of prajna and enter the nature of prajna and reach complete freedom. Do you understand? Yes, I'm clear. Thank you, Thầy. The time is up as well. Goodbye, everyone. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha.